Okay, we're going to try a new concept today. I'm going to do a little voiceover as to explain what's going on here. This is me and Waylon out at the Charles City Dirt Riders Club. That's located at the Shirley Plantation right on the James River. Anyway, here goes Waylon. I think he's taking the lead. I've got to figure out to put my goggles on, and as soon as I do that, we'll be ready to go. Currently, we're riding out on a, they call it the mini motocross track, and it's just a large oval track with a few small jumps on this side that I'm facing into. Coming back the other way, it's a little more dynamic terrain, kind of up and down. Unfortunately, of course, the GoPro tends to flatten things out, so you don't really see the jumps so much as the way that we see them. There was a bit of mud that day, so that was kind of fun. There goes Waylon past me on the right. I'm going to turn in this bank right here and go catch up with him. You can kind of tell when I'm coming off the ground because you'll hear the engine rev up as my back wheel comes up, but nothing really that drastic. Coming through here, he was insistent on going through the mud. I wanted to go around it. And then this little hill right here, it's a lot steeper than what it looks like, but it's so much fun just hitting that wide open. We'll come back around here and then we'll be back at the start. So you can see it's a pretty short track. We'll loop this thing a few times till we get bored with it. Then we'll go elsewhere. He does like going through the mud. He was complaining later that his feet were wet. I think my feet might have got a little wet as well.
Yeah, you went through it. We documented it on the GoPro.
The whole time we're riding, we have on a communication device so we can hear each other talking. There's a microphone inside the helmet with earphones, so we can chatter back and forth. And it's funny that we're riding along and the conversation can go in pretty much any direction. Does tend to gravitate towards how not to fall off the motorcycle a lot. We're both pretty good at not falling off. We occasionally have our moments. And now I'm just going to follow Waylon. So I'm going through the mud. Going through the mud again. And there I go.
Remember, don't follow Waylon. What did we decide?
Right, straight in front of me is a RC field. I used to be a member of that club. I haven't flown RC in quite a while, but they share this property with us. I guess it's all leased from the Shirley Plantation. So that's pretty cool. We're concerned about staying off of the little road there because the gravel is very slippery to ride on. You tend to wallow back and forth in the little ruts. We're getting the hang of it though.
Right here's the path.
Next, what we're doing is we're going to investigate a way to get down to the mini motocross track by the trails system that goes back there. So there's just a little short connector that we can take right here.
Remember, look where you want to go.
I'm always preaching to Waylon about when you're in difficult terrain to stand up on the pegs. He doesn't much like standing up. He likes just sitting down and riding. But that's the key to riding dirt bikes is standing on the pegs. Gives you the most control of the motorcycle. You actually can balance the bike better with your knees than you can with your hands.
Watch the hole. Or day 2 of the...
Now we're just watching some folks on the full-size motocross track. Again, the GoPro tends to flatten things out. These jumps to us look massive. And we do see people every once in a while here that are really good at it and can jump from one side and not touch the ground till they get completely clear to the other side. So what was going on here today were they do lessons. So They have a beginner course and 2-day beginner course, and then they have intermediate rider courses. They do adventure rider courses, so they teach people with really big motorcycles how to ride in less than optimum terrain. We think that part of what's going on here is the second day of the dirt bike boot camp, so we see them coming out this direction. Maybe more of an advanced boot camp going on. Now, we were there a couple weeks ago, and coming down, there's a little hill right here, and you can't really tell it that much, but it's a hill. It's very gravelly, and Waylon, when he made the turn at the bottom, he touched his front brake, and the bike flipped out from underneath him, so he really didn't like it. So now he's being very careful on that. And, I made a point to say, oops, I almost fell, coming down the exact same point. Now, our conversation at this point went something like this. Waylon says, well, if you fall, there's going to be a dozen 20-year-old guys on dirt bikes that are going to come over expecting to help a 30-year-old man up off the ground. And then when you take your helmet off and see that you're an old 60-year-old, then they'll be shocked. And I'm like, oh, why I oughta. I think I said something about laughing and wanting to push him off the bike at the same time. Then the conversation continued on, and it got kind of out of hand at this point. We were talking about, he comes up with the idea that, in my voice as an old man, like, I'm just out here riding a dirt bike with my granddaughter. I started laughing, granddaughter. and then I chimed in. I'm like, she might not be very pretty, but she sure can ride a dirt bike. And we both laughed that one for quite a while. Okay, now we're headed over to, they call it the grass track. We'll cross over the little bridge going down there, the little dike going down there between this little pond and the creek. And then it's just a sandy track that basically the idea is that you can use it to learn to do your cornering and your braking and how to handle sand and ruts and things like that. So it's a nice little training track right here. I keep harping on Waylon about getting his elbows up and putting his toes in and sitting forward on the gas tank, and he says he does. And he does pretty well. He takes his time through the turns. He doesn't like to fall. This turn coming up, well, not going to be able to see it, but it was one of the turns we were going into. He did have it slip out from underneath him a few weeks ago, and he really doesn't like falling. And I don't blame him. Nobody likes to fall, but, falling's part of not just dirt biking, but everything in life. You got to learn to pick yourself back up and keep going. Learn from your mistakes. Those little bumps there, if you go fast enough, you'll come off the ground, and when you hit those, that is just about as much fun as you can have. My bike, it's a Kawasaki KLX 250. It's a dual sport bike, so it's licensed. I can take it on the road as well as in the dirt. But because of that, it's not really a great dirt bike, nor is it a great street bike. It's just a general purpose bike. I could make it go pretty well out here. It's kind of underpowered, and I'm a big fella for that bike, but it's a lot of fun. I think I'm coming up on another jump here, maybe. Oh, nope, we're heading back somewhere. Who knows where we're going now, but it's going to be something fun. Yeah, this is the road that goes up through by the office, and over to the right's a little mini motocross track. And what we're doing is we're heading down to the trails. All around the property, there are trails that have been cut out that kind of weave in and out of the trees. They're a lot of fun. The problem is, just like any trail system, unless somebody takes care of them, they get really rutted out. So, every time the motorcycle comes through, especially when it's wet, you get these nice deep ruts. You can't see it so well on the GoPro, but they are uncomfortable to ride through. Mostly here, though, we're able to go around any of them that you might see.
Yeah, I saw
if you'll keep watching, we'll find some. Yeah, here's where we're going around the ruts to not have to drive through that stuff. Some of them are pretty deep. Sometimes, though, you can't really help it, and you just have to barrel right on through. There is a technique to get through them. And the problem with ruts is they tend to want to grab your front wheel and steer you where the rut wants to go. And that's not exactly what you like to feel. It tends to to me it feels like it's trying to throw you off the motorcycle.
Yeah, you gotta go fast. That's the key. Here's another good one.
I was concerned that I couldn't see Waylon behind me. I couldn't hear him. So I'm like, "Are you still back there? Are you okay?" And I'd hear the run, run. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, there he is. He's right there." So he didn't have any problem whatsoever.
Well, don't go in super deeply.
The one place that he was concerned about, and again, the GoPro really flattens things out, so you can't see things very well. But up here is this hill. I think it's coming up here shortly. But anyway, the hill, it's to us it looks kind of like a little wall that you're going to go up, and it's not very tall, maybe 20 feet tall, if that. But it's very steep, and so you kind of think, okay, I guess this will be fine. And of course, I did it on my bike, and it was absolutely no factor whatsoever. But the problem was with Waylon's bike. Here it is, this little rise right here. It's really not that much, but it's there. And he just nailed it. And the problem was that once he got on top, he didn't have any problem getting up there. It's just then he had problems stopping before the turn. So I come through here, and these ruts, they're half as deep as my wheel, and I just don't want to go through all that. And then on the right side, there's a log, and in front of us, there's a log in the road that's got dirt over top of it. I'm not sure if I can get over it or not. So I'm going to end up backing out with the motorcycle and go down the right side. And that's what Waylon's doing. He's going down the right side and trying to get through without getting knocked off by that log sitting on the left. But he doesn't have a problem.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know. I probably should have. Oh, no.
So once we get through this section, we're about to come back out into an open area that's back at that I called it the grass track. Waylon wanted to go look and see what it looked like around to the left, whether he wanted to go that way or not. Because sometimes you don't know what's coming up, and he could see to the right, but he figured, okay, this looks okay. It's a little narrow at some point through here, but it shouldn't be any problem. And it wasn't. We just went right on out, back out onto the grass track. Nobody's coming. Here we are coming back out from the grass track. Now straight out in front of us is another grass track, and they call it the 6 mile track because it wraps around and around and around and works out to be 6 miles. So that's what we're doing now. We're on the 6 mile track, which was I really like this track because it's not too sandy. You can build up some speed, and it's really good to work on your turns. And everything here, what you're doing with a dirt bike, it's all about balance. And that this is a very good place to learn your balance because there's no repercussions. If you overshoot a turn, it's not a big deal. You're just going out in the field. And plus, if you get tired of it, you can just cut across. There's nothing to get in your way. It's just a big open field. Oh, here's where I was practicing my wheelies. Waylon's like, "What are you doing back there?" "Nothing." Whee! That's why they call me Papa Willie. They call him Little Willie, which I don't think that's a very good nickname, but we need to work on that one. So now I got to catch back up. He thinks I can't keep up, but I'm going to go ripping through here, throwing dirt up in his face like a good Paw does.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting that, you know, I rode dirt bikes a lot when I was a kid. And even when I was a teenager and even when I was in the Navy, I had a dirt bike the whole time. Actually, even after that, when I was a civilian again and flying in the airlines, I had a dirt bike. But then I went for almost a 30-year period where I never rode again, and so we get this bike, and yeah, I don't know how much I remember of this, but it's, you know, it pretty much came back to me pretty quickly. I'm not as brave as I was back then, or stupid, however you want to look at it. I'm not going to go as fast on a bike today as I would when I was 16 years old. Fear of crashing is always right on the forefront there. It hurts when you fall, especially at this age. But I can do pretty well. So what I'm doing now is looping back around to catch back up with Waylon. He's well behind me. So I'm going to get in behind him.
I've been practicing.
And here we go again.
See, that's the kind of bike I need. Something that makes a lot of noise. A two-stroke. Yeah, that's what I need.
Really is a fun place to ride. A lot of different type of tracks, different type of environment to ride in. A lot of folks out there. We see entire families with little ones from 4 years old on up. Oh, there we just entered the turn of death. No, wait, that's not what it's called. Something of death. Spiral of death or something. It's just because the trail loops back around on itself, so you got to watch where you're going so you don't run into somebody. There's a little sign there that says you're entering the turn of death, or spiral of death, or circle of death. Circle of death, that's what it is.
Can't get her feet on the ground.
Circle of deaths are usually never good. But we defied death this time. We're safe, in case anybody was worried. Well, here's where I cut him off. Again, some nice guy, right? Take that, you whippersnapper. I got to figure out how to hook my GoPro to the front of my helmet. I see a lot of people do that. I've got it like on a pad that's glued to the top of my helmet. Well, looks like we're just about done for the day. Back to the pickup truck and the trailer. Nobody crashed. We didn't get any fist fights. No one was arrested. So I'm going to say it was a good day. Fun was had by all. Well, thanks for watching. Hope everybody enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next installment of how the motorcycle rides, or something like that. Anyway, good day.